All right. So if you're watching this video, you probably tend to fail R5 quite often. Failing 2 or 3% of the time happens. Bad RNG happens. But if you fail like 30% of the time, you're watching this video and trying to understand. Now, mind you, my video is R4. I was helping guildies, whatever, but it still works in R5. Now, when you tend to fail R5, the your intuition is more often than not is to bring more heals. Um, Understandable, but usually that's the wrong answer. So try to watch your run and see what happens. Do you uh, like die when the boss is still at like 40% health and the boss has all the five debuffs on and you still die because every time he nukes you, like you drop to 20% health and can't heal back up in time? Well, that's not a heals problem, that's a rune problem. You're probably just not ready for R5. That sucks, but that's life. Um, or do you get nuked at 40% or 20% or something, but the boss does not have the attack or glance debuff on? And then he just hits you too hard and you die. Then again, that's not a healer problem, that's a team composition problem. You don't have enough debuffs, or they're not fast enough or reliable enough, and you get hit to the face too hard. Um, is it because you don't land a heal block consistently and then he heals back too much? Which in itself is not a problem, but I'll get back to it soon enough. But just to say, if the fight takes too long, it's going to hurt you in the end. That's a problem, and bringing more heals is not going to help the fight go faster. Um, so, speaking of which, is it because he heals too often, or you don't have enough damage and the fight takes too long? Because the boss has a skill called Rageful Roar, and that's like the countdown of 16. And when you count up or whatever, but when he arrives at 16, he debuffs you. He cleanses you from buffs. He nukes the shit out of your team, stuns half of them, and yeah, that's it, right? It happens every 16 turn. But if you read the skill to the end, it says blah 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 and permanently increase the boss's attack power. So if the boss attacks too often, uh, because he heals too often, because you don't deal enough damage, or because you focus so much on crazy fast monsters and on violent, he procs this 16 hit thing too often, becomes too strong, and your healers just can't consistently heal your team from 20% to 100. So it's not a heals problem, it's the way you're doing R5 that is wrong, and you allowing the boss to become too strong. That's your issue. Um, and finally, is it because you have either a frontliner or a damage dealer that is too squishy? You can look at it easily, like if the boss on the third nuke uh, reduces your front line to less than 50%, even though they were at full health before the nuke, they're probably too squishy. Same thing for a damage dealer. Like if your damage dealer has Darian or DS in the front line, it can sustain much more damage. It really changes your game. But if you don't have that monster in your lineup, you need like your damage dealer to have something like 22,000 HP and 1100 def. If not, they become a liability. They lose so much health all the time that your healers are stretched because they constantly need to heal you. And on top of that, they when they heal, they don't attack the boss. They don't apply a debuff and puts you in trouble. So when comes the third nuke, all your heals are down. So that's not a heal issue. That's a your nuker is too squishy, or your front line is too squishy, or your heals are they're too busy healing and they don't apply that glancing and attack debuff on the boss post or nuke, and you're in trouble. So that's it. Just a bunch of misconceptions. Thinking more heals is going to solve the problem. That is not the case. So hopefully this helps. And good luck.